This video is going to go over the check-in that we did on Chapter 7, um, and I'm going to break it down into 3 videos. The first video is going to have numbers 1 through 7, and then the next video is going to have 8 through 10, and I might even do it in 4 sections. Then 11 through 18 and 19 and 20. Okay, so this first one is 1 through 7. I'm going to go over these. I want you to review, make sure you understand. If you got anything wrong, see what you did wrong, and then if you still don't understand it, I want you to come see me so that we can help figure out what the issue is. All right, on this first one, 18 plus g equals 38. We want to get g all by itself. We want to figure out what g is. Once we know what g is, then we've solved the problem, okay? If I want to get rid of this 18, it's a positive 18. It's like I have 18 of something. If I want to get rid of that 18, I'm going to subtract it. Minus 18. And I got to do that on both sides because it's equal. I want to be equal to both sides. So then I do this. That is 0. So I bring down my g equals, I do this, 0 to 2. G equals 20. Then I'm going to put it in Checkin. 18 plus 20. Does 18 plus 20 give me 38? It does. So I solve for g, then I put it in to check it. I did all my work. You can see what I did. It's really important to show your work and to check it. Let's do this one. P minus 16 equals 24. I want to get p all by itself. I got to get rid of this minus 16. If I have negative 16 and I want to get that to 0, I'm going to add up 16 to it, and that'll get me to the 0. So add 16 to both sides. That cancels it out. P equals, let's see, this is 0 and 4. 40. I think P equals 40. I'm going to put it in. 40 minus 16. 40 minus 16. That gets me 24, which is what I have up there. All good. Okay. And you can use your calculator for this. I don't mind if you're plugging in the subtraction and addition and calculator. Okay. Let's look at number 3. D divided by 75. When it's a fraction like this, all this fraction line means is that it's divided by. D divided by 75 equals 25. Okay, so if I want to get rid of this 75, it's divided by, so I do the opposite. I multiply each side. Times 75 times 75. And when I do that, this divided by cancels with the multiplying. So it's D equals, let's see here. You can do this on your calculator. I'm going to do it over here. That's 25. 10 plus 2 is 12. Add my 0. 35. 14, 15, 16, 17. There you go. Now I add them up. 5, 7, 8, 1. 1,875. 1,875 is D. And if I want to check it, I'm going to put D right here. 1875 divided by 75 equals 25. I'm going to do that on my calculator. I'm going to plug in 1875 divided by 75 equal, and you will see that it does equal 25, and you're good. Okay? So on these 3, I had a positive 18 I needed to get rid of. So when it's plus, you got to subtract. I had a negative 16 I needed to get rid of, or a minus 16. When it's minus, you add. This was a division. When it's a division, you multiply. Okay, it's always the opposite. Add, subtract to both sides. Subtract, add to both sides. Divide, times to both sides. Let's keep going, okay? I want to get t all by itself. I want to get rid of this plus 20, plus 2.1. And if I want to get rid of plus 2.1, I'm going to subtract it. Okay, so minus 2.1. I got to line up my decimals when I do subtraction. So on this one, it's a little tricky. 13, I know the decimal's right there, so it's 2.1. Subtract, okay? This side's easy, because these two cancel. So it's t equals, now I'm going to pull this over here. If I'm not going to do this on my calculator, I got to do this the right way here. I have to have my decimals line up. Otherwise, you're not going to get the right answer. With adding and subtracting, decimals always have to line up. So the decimals line up, pull it down. Now I just do the subtraction. 0 minus 1, I can't do. So that becomes a 2, that becomes a 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. 2 minus 2 is 0, and I bring down my 1. So I think t is 10.9. But to know for sure, I want to check it. 13 equals 10.9 plus 2.1. So if I add these two together, the 0.1 and the 0.9 equals a whole one. 10 plus 2 is 12, plus 1 more is 13. I get my 13. You can do this on your calculator however you want to, but this does work. So t is 10.9. Okay. This one, y. I want to get that y all by itself. Plus 174 equals 200. If it's plus, I subtract. Minus 174. And because it's equal, I do it to both sides. Minus 174. These cancel. Y equals, you know, I can't do all these zeros. So this becomes a 1. That becomes a 10. Then I can borrow from here. That becomes a 9. That becomes a 10. Okay? 10 minus 4 is 6. 9 minus 7 is 2, and 1 minus 1 is 0, so y is 26. If I put it in, 26 plus 174, what does that equal? I add these up, I see that they equal 200, which is what I needed, and y is 26. I had a plus 174, I subtracted that from each side, it left this y all alone, okay? I have another one with y. But this is fractions. Now, fractions, we've got to remember how to do fractions, how to subtract and add fractions. Y plus 1/2 equals 3/4. I want to get rid of this 1/2. So it's plus 1/2. I subtract 1/2. And I subtract 1/2 to each side. So y, these two cancel. It's going to be y equals, but I'm going to come over here, 3/4 minus 1/2. When I subtract, I need to have common denominators. Which one, what could be a common denominator? If I times them together, 8. They both go into 8. But you know what? They both also go into 4. So I want 4 as my common denominator. So I'm going to change 1/2. Oops. Oh, darn it. I'm going to change 1/2 to be something 4. Okay? And I know that it's times 2, so times 2, so 2/4. So 1/2 is the same as 2/4. So I'm going to put 2/4. Now, subtracting fractions, when they have the same denominator, you just go across and the denominator just goes with it. So the denominator just goes across. 3 minus 2 is 1/4. So I think y equals 1/4. Okay? But you know that I'm going to check it. So 1/4 is y plus 1/2 equals 3/4. Okay, when I add fractions, I need common denominators. We already established that 1/4 or 1/2 is the same as 2/4. Okay? So I'm going to put this as 2/4. Now, 1/4 plus 2/4 equals 3/4. It does because 4, the denominator, when you're adding, just goes right there. 1 plus 2 is 3, 3/4. So this is correct. If you don't understand this one, it's probably because you're struggling with adding or subtracting fractions. So if that's the case, come see me and I'll help you work through that. Okay, last one here is another decimal. And with decimals, you always line up the decimal. So I have 13.2 equals t minus. I want that t all by itself, so I got to get rid of that negative, that minus 4.4. I'm going to add it to get it up to 0. So I'm going to add 4.4. I've lined up my decimals, very important. And I'm going to do it to this side too. And I lined up my decimals. These two become 0. So I don't even need that. That just cancels each other. So I have t equals, I'm adding this, so 2 plus 4 is 6. My decimal is all in line. 4 plus 3 is 7, and I bring down my 1. I think t is 17.6, but of course I'm going to check it. 17.6 minus 4.4. Now, if I put this into my calculator, I could do it right here, which I will do. 17.6 minus 4.4. Let's see if that gets me this right here. 6 minus 4 is 2. My decimals are all lined up. 7 minus 4 is 3, and I bring down my 1. 13.2 is what I get, and so t does equal 17.6. Okay? When you have an addition, you subtract. When you have a subtraction, you add. When you have a division, you multiply. When you have a multiplication, you divide. And then you got to be careful with fractions. Okay, so that's 1 through 7. If you have any questions, raise your hand. Come see me. Let's figure this out.